Straight talk from Israel. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hi everyone, this is Orly Davis and this is from Jerusalem with Love. Today is June 30th, 2021 and we are here in Israel, the Holy Land, the holy land that God Almighty gave to the world, and Israel is its custodian and Jerusalem is its capital. By the testimony of the Bible, the book of all books, the Old Testament that gave us, the Jewish people, the courage and the faith to do God's work. Looking around, it is like there is no peace in the news, no relent to the corona stride, and in every challenge the humanity has to face, the greed and destruction. And the cause is where police get attacked and new methods need to be taken. It is time to embrace those people in Miami, an ecosystem of all nations that suffered such a terrible loss last week. Miami is still in shock, and the assistance that helping hands give there is mostly spirited. Since the presence of all that destruction muted us all, and a great, great sorrow. I must ask the question, and you must all forgive me for being blunt and to the point. What kind of destruction leave a building in dust? While we grieve with Miami, we realize, as you know, this is the time of remembrance upon the Jewish people. And we are here in the time of historical siege on Jerusalem and the actual destruction of the Holy Temple. Make you wonder why people ask, why do you pray? And why we need a holy temple? Why is the dwelling of God present is needed to mankind? And why is the world is guilty of avoiding the fact that there is a God in Israel, in the Holy Land, and the Jewish people are the one that got the responsibility to do so. Not Jordan, not Palestinian, nobody else. Jewish people, Hebrew, Israel. So we'll talk about Miami and we'll keep on going about the situation in the world. I hope to stay put and we'll be back after this.
The return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel was prophesied in the Bible thousands of years ago and is coming true today. Shalom. Join me, Josh Wander, on Israel Unplugged. Listen in as we delve into the spiritual and physical aspects of the Jewish return to Zion. We'll discuss the biblically mandated, historic, and of course practical understandings of this incredible transition from exile to redemption. That's Israel Unplugged, every Monday on IsraelNewsTalkRadio.com.
And we are back. It's Orly Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. I want to welcome all our friends in the chat room. Hello, everybody. And for people from around the globe, from United States of America, from Canada, United Kingdom, Israel, Australia, Mexico, my beloved Mexico. Guys, I'm so happy that you're here. First of all, let's congratulate Australia for incredible return of many of your residents. And I heard that the housing is booming right now, luxury housing, because you got all the good guys coming back home. It's so good to have people back home. So I'm happy for you. And United Kingdom, you got the reunion of Prince Harry and Prince to be a King William, and I hope that they settle their whatever it is, because they're beloved brothers and it's important. Okay, so let's go back to United States. Canada, of course, I will love you. So anyway, Miami, we were waking up to a destruction of a building that me coming from the housing industry for so many years in the state, I know the question was, how did it happen? Now, of course, there is a lot of witnesses that say that the house was moving and it was shaky, and the water was underground in the garage sometimes, and there was a building, that luxury building that got built nearby. And it was amazing that the house, the building that collapses, and the luxury building that was built nearby are between two cities. One in the luxury is in city of Miami Beach, and the other one is the city that got the destruction inside. Now, the question is why the rebels are like dust. That's something that I have. My problem is, that I always look at things that happen, that there is no chance that something like this happened without a destruction of some kind. Now, let's talk about the destruction. We can have a negligence for taking care of the building as one. We can think about, natural immersion of water too. We can say it, and we must say, because somebody heard an explosion from Denver, and then everything went in 1 minute. Like if you see a destruction of hotel in Miami, when it's supposed to be, they destroy it and it collapses in the same way. So I am in my thoughts thinking that nobody wants to tell it, because the ground forces on the ground say it's like 9/11. The shock was amazing. People were in shock to see the destruction and to find body parts, guys. I don't know what kind of destruction, if a collapse happened, that they dismantle bodies. And also the dust. It's too much to assume that it was happening because of negligence. I hear foul play. I don't care, because the enemy of peace are everywhere, and they attack somebody. Also, there was a very prominent visitor there from South America's. I think one of the president's niece or something. I don't know if it was, no, actually, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to talk about it. But the idea is that there might be something involved in that. It happens so much. Now, this is only speculation, of course, but I heard the people, and I heard that, under Connell today from the Israeli forces that come to help, and they say that they are trying, and Miami are doing everything. They were welcomed by the governor, Ron DeSantis, that is a dear man that does everything in his power to help, and we appreciate him. And the forces from Israel that come, they ask why the building collapsed, and they didn't proceed with questioning that person on the radio. So I know that they don't want to speculate, and nobody wants to speculate, but I say it because somebody has to drop that, because a criminal investigation must be taking place, and it must start. Now, of course, we see building now in Haifa that 4 building got today. As we speak, there is a fire. They needed to evacuate it, and maybe the method of operandis right now change, and maybe we need to have more safeguard on our own property, because incendiary attack is something that can be oblivious to the police in some sort, because maybe they can cover it up. But destruction that it shows you in this amazing magnitude, you must understand that we need to ask all those questions. And I'm asking you because I don't, I've been around seeing some. I don't want to be fooled by any, it happened. God is great. And so not to have any life, we have a few lives saved. Actually, I don't know if it was not 2. Not nobody. It's like the people themselves from, that get captured. You always find somebody, and that's why I was crying. Really, I was crying because for some reason it made me cry. I can see a lot of things. I don't tolerate a lot of bad thing, but that scene made me cry. So I pray for that, and that's why we have to understand that praying is a power that gives you enforcement. That's why when I saw in the movie today or yesterday, that a very prominent actor say, "Why do you pray?" And I'm saying, God, people don't understand the presence of God in their life. They don't understand the spirit of God that in everybody person. And you know what? Every time you speak about the holy God, it seems like you are, out of the blue, you're talking. And I'm saying to myself, why people even think this way when they are human? They're not animal. Don't you realize that a person has a time in this earth and then you pass away? What happened to the spirit? Do you think that it's gone? It's like a battery that is gone and you take it down and that's it. We have a prominent understanding that there is incredible spirit in this universe and that it's in every one of us. That's the power to make us go forward. And in Miami, they need the encouragement. The fact that the forces from outside came to help them just gave them the love they needed to say, we're not alone. Somebody is with us. We will go through this and we'll be taken care of. Of course, America is great, but we don't want to see stuff like this happening. And the worst of all, I feel kind of reminiscence about last week episode when I talked about it happened twice that America got attacked by Pearl Harbor and 9/11, and sure enough, the day after, a building collapsed. And I'm saying, first of all, do they listen? Second, what's the plan? Are they want to destroy America from within? Is that something that, the Iranians are up to? And sure enough, they are sneaky enough. If you know the character of your enemy, you can understand that he's not merciful. Since you remember, they throw a chemical weapon on Iraqi for years. They killed thousands, and they want to destroy Israel. And Senator Lindsey Graham today mentioned in Hannity show, they said that the Iranian regime is a Nazi regime that want to take over the world and destroy Israel. So they are in the process of taking over Syria, Lebanon, Iraq. Of course, they are there already. And then they are planning to go through and destroy Israel. And they want to have a prominent thing. And I say, people want a lot of things, but the problem is who is helping them. If China sells arms to Iran, we need to exit, from this relationship. If Russia sell arms to Iran, they are really not playing by the book, because you wanted to come back to be a part of America, United Forces, like in the Second World War, where you were in the right side. If you sell arms to Iran, there is nothing we can talk about. There is absolutely nothing you can do to amalgamate this broken trust that you try to acquire by your action, which we thought that it was good. Now, America is not alone, and we are vigilant, and we're vigilant in the Middle East, but and the attack on the forces, on the Iranian forces, not Iranian, the Houthi one, between Syria and Iraq was purposely done, and it was good they did that. But we need to stand up. I don't understand the scrimmage between United Kingdom and Russia at sea. That's, it's a waste of time, guys. We need to come to the table and start talking to the Russian the way. And Europe, why you didn't want to? Let's go to a break and we'll be back after this.
Hi everyone, this is Andrea Simento from Jerusalem, inviting you to drop everything and join me on my show, Pull Up a Chair. We'll visit this week's quirky stories, meet fabulous guests, and discover my Israel. Together we'll laugh, shout, and explain the topics that make us say, hey, we've got to talk about that. So get comfortable and pull up a chair with me, Andrea Simento, every Thursday on Israel News Talk Radio.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. We want to congratulate United Emirates and Israel, of course, for the opening of the new embassy in Abu Dhabi and the consulate in Dubai, which will be a center of commerce and connection and communication and probably technology. I congratulate them, and I don't understand them congratulating Iran, new president, but it's their business. We were just a new friend, so we have no say in that. But I just want you to know that you cannot hold both sides of the game. If you play with the wrong side, you play with the wrong side, and we cannot allow it to expand. Okay, so expansions means that become with trust. If I trust you, I can trust continuing with this, and it's really something that we acquire a long time with American. And, President Biden just met with President Rivlin from Israel, which was a good thing. And President Rivlin even met with my friend, Congressman Joe Wilson, that helped us move the embassy to Jerusalem. He was instrumental. I was pounding him for 23 years, every year, every meeting. What about the embassy? I guess that something came home. Now, when you say something came home, I've been struggling in the last 2 days to get help to one of the embassy here in Israel, to get help to get the extra vaccine that was published in one of the reports. I don't know if it was fake news, but they said that we have a surplus of 800 or 1,000,004 almost expired vaccine. And I know that right now, as Tel Aviv is turning orange, which the coronavirus is regain its power again with the Delta variation. They are, injecting and vaccinating a lot of people now that weren't vaccinated before, and the youth especially. Now you have to understand one thing. We want to help other people and other country. If you have something published in the news and there is an embassy that call me in the middle of the night, guys, I am only a volunteer. I've been doing it for 30 years. I've been helping through a lot of things with America. I was, on the Hill for so many years to go back and forth, embassies, United Nations, embassies to other countries. We're talking so many of them, and they want to get some attention. And attention sometimes is not through the official. That's what makes me wonder what the foreign minister has to do with anything. If I can get an agreement with big countries that wants to get a deal with Israel to have, a friendship deal, something that they feel comfortable doing with me, but they don't feel comfortable doing with the official. So what we need the official at all? Why the foreign minister, of course, the foreign minister of Israel right now is overseas doing a sacred job in the United Emirates, but the office needs to respond, and then they send you around telling you, wow, you have to go do this and, go by the path. Like there is no urgency in thinking that sometimes when, people need something now, when they call to help, please help. Don't delay. I sent requests via WhatsApp to so many people that I helped through the campaign. I helped through election. I helped through the years. And if you say that I got a response, I got a response only from one friend from the media, from the news, somebody that knows me and he knows what I do, and he was directive, and we proceed. But why I have to go through this just to help somebody? And I'm not doing it for pay. Remember, volunteering. Like I'm here for you here. And I'm doing it because there is no other person that does it, so many years and know the history and collect the data and try to make sense out of it. And I hope I'm doing, and I pray a lot to God to give me the not just the opportunity to help, but the understanding how to do so. Because sometimes you need to create some kind of different formula. So to feed the Israeli forces here, or Israeli representative, are childlike, and they call each other, one of the committee member chairman, they called her, oh, you a little kid. This is on the auspice of Benjamin Netanyahu, that cannot understand how he got kicked out of office because he was so arrogant and so misbehaving. And, of course, he has a lawsuit evolving, which is ridiculous. The Bar Association really cannot deliver any kind of guilt when they present. Do you understand that there is one witness for 27 days that is saying and he's a liar, and everybody found him lying? He admits he's a liar, and you still put him on the stand. I don't understand what this judgment system goes. And I heard today that Don Bongino has a new show, which I want to see so much, because Don Bongino was a policeman, and he said something that, former member of Knesset, Ophir Pines, asked me, how did Giuliani handle the criminal activity in America, in New York? How he stopped it? And Don Bongino said we had one rule. If somebody riots, you put them in jail. If somebody throw a stone, put them in jail. Now, they said the first one in jail, the second one in jail, the third one, there is none, because they'll stop. Once you put them in jail, and the justice system needs to deal with it, you cannot let them out. If you let them out, you actually merciful to the bad, and then you're going to be cruel to the good. That's the rule of thumb. You cannot be merciful to people who want to destroy your well-being. And I'm not saying you're as person, the entity, the group, the America get destroyed because we have the justice system, a soft hand. When they let its rotating door, it come in and come out. In Israel, they don't even subject them to. They put them in police court and in the court, and they throw them out. They don't even spend the time, so they get emboldened. And you know what? If, like Don Bongino said today, if you don't want criminal to do high crime, you stop them when they do a small crime, so they are not in the street anymore to do higher crime. What's the deal was, it worked. It worked, and the justice system needs to be a part of it. And if you want to sue a prime minister because of cheating or because of stealing, just give me the fact and throw the case out. It's enough with this. How dare you spend so much money and time of people and lawyers, and and the government is subjected to all, and election was undermined by this. Everything, just because you goody two shoes cannot decide if he's guilty or not. Oh, you let him be a prime minister. How can you do that? And they don't even question the source, the real source. Now we have four submarines that got ordered. We need to investigate this. They never investigate the real one, the real issue. They don't. And there is a member, former defense minister, Boogie Alon, that wanted to testify, but they don't listen to him. What's wrong with that? And and they say there was nothing wrong. I love that the Attorney General said that there was nothing wrong, when actually the cousin of Benjamin Netanyahu was the one that was the lawyer for the deal with the government of Israel for the submarine company. Now, if there is no regulation that states that there is obviously a wrongdoing, they must be. And when a person that in the government cannot collect so much money to have like $10 million of housing, not just I'm jealous or anything, I had much more and I lost it all. So I don't believe in the real estate like I believed before. But anyway, it's not important. It's important that the justice system start to act up and do the job. They need to, to throw the people in jail, the one that riots, and keep them there until they sober up and do whatever it takes to calm the situation. If you have fire everywhere, if you have sabotage, they need to stop it. And this government, the new one that you have, Yair Lapid, of course, the head of the government, and you have Mr. Naftali Bennett that is tenacious on crime, and he's gonna do something. I trust it. The only problem is I have Ayelet Shaked, that she's a little wacky with the law, and that she wants to legislate too soon, too fast. Girl, you need to grow up to become that politician. Take time. Anyway, let's go to a break, and we'll be back after this.
Are you interested in transforming your life, drawing closer to the Creator, and uncovering the deeper meanings and hidden treasures in the Hebrew Bible?
Then join me, Rav Yitzhak Michelson,
And me, William Hall,
on the Science of Kabbalah, where we are seeking to narrow the gap between what we understand of our physical and spiritual worlds. So make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Israel time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
Hello, I am Walter Bingham. If you want to hear the news behind the news and the true perspective on world affairs, then the Walter Bingham File is the program for you. We bring you interviews with the movers and shakers, political commentaries, and on-the-spot reports of events as they happen. All here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Israel time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And it's all archived on our website. Make it a date.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. So I want to remind you all that we started the week with fasting of Tammuz, a fasting that started 3 weeks of mourning to the destruction of the temple. Now, why I insist to talk about the Holy Temple, and when I know so much about politics, about a lot of stuff, and about housing, and about things, it's because I want you to have the image, okay? I want you to close your eyes and go back in time and think that in the first Holy Temple, we had the presence of God dwelling inside it. Now think about it. We have God Almighty who created this cosmos, this galaxy, and everything that there is in this world. You know, it exists every time when you wake up and the sun is up and the moon goes down, and there is no person who can repudiate that idea. Even that the scientists try, but there is no Big Bang. Even the Big Bang had to start with something, right? You cannot start from nothing, and this is what God also, Spinoza explained it, Einstein explained it, and if you think that you're smarter than them, God bless you, good luck. But let me go back. Think about the presence of God. It's that encompass of a strong word. On Sunday when we had fasting, there happened 5 things that happened that day. And one of them is the breaking of the 10 Commandments, because the first one were broken because the golden calf that Israel seen it. And that's why it was broken, and Moses had to go back and write it again. And it's a very sad thinking that to have the actual God sent 10 Commandments written broken, it's completely something devastation that people need to understand. Now, it's not a fairy tale. And every time people say the Bible is a story, I want to remind them, last year you did Passover, right? And the year before you did it again. And the year before you did it again. It's because it comes in history every year to commemorate something that happened. The Jewish people are now fooled. They don't celebrate something that didn't exist. And the fact that we were slaves in Egypt is a well-known fact. Now, when we got liberated, there is all kind of, scientific. But the problem is they forget that God helped us exit, from the and he divided the sea. But not just this, it's Moses who brought us. So the Torah of Moses is a Torah that exists, okay? So the lesson that we learn is that we need to understand that God, listen, Abraham understood God. He walked with God immediately. He knew it, and that he was humongous. That's why he was blessed with the all people of the universe. He's the father of all people. Now, if you think about it, when the Jewish people or the Hebrews, the Israelites, moved from Egypt to the Holy Land, to the Promised Land, and conquer it, of course, because there were other people. I think that nobody can blame Israel for conquering something that was promised to them by God, and if God was chosen. Like you cannot blame England for conquering England or Scotland or Ireland or whatever, or going in India, or going in South Africa, whatever she was everywhere. Or you cannot blame other nations that conquer. We were only directed because there is the incredible encompass of God's presence in this land. Now, I stay in this land with a belief that something great must happen soon, because we need to understand that the presence of God probably is needed for all humanity, because we are in shambles, and not because we hate each other. Frankly, look about everybody. We don't hate anybody. The Iranian hates us because we represent God Almighty, and they represent the culmination of anti-God, because they believe in death. think about it, and I tell it to the member of Knesset that tried to teach Arab, Mr. Tibi, that teach Hebrew to us. And I said to him, you try to teach us that. Think about what you're even thinking, because to teach Hebrew, the biblical one, you cannot. You're Arabic or not, you cannot. Yeah, and you cannot even understand it, because we're the Jewish people. We are the source of God's connection. Then the Christianity came as expansion. And then the Islam took some of this, some of that, and even they adopted Moses. They liked Moses, so they adopted him. But this is a fake. It's a fake. Not just because I don't disrespect anybody. You can believe in anything. People believe in stones. They have, there is stones that they think that it's God. And there are people who think in energy. There are people who work the underground, which is the culmination of the evil, and we don't want to say that. But the idea is that we need to recompose the world to the right thing, by not because God Almighty is ours and that's it. It's because the present is needed. If it worked before in the Temple of Solomon, why you think we cannot make it again? Now, given to you the situation on the ground of the Israeli government, not the Israeli themselves, is atrocious. I would send them all home and take the good people and put them in. Even the religious, they have become nasty, where they represent God. You cannot be nasty and represent God. You need to be kind and warm and happy and welcoming. It's like you go to shul, like they say, can I pray? Yes, of course, sit down here, like in Chabad. Sit down here, we can give you a place. You need anything, right here, we'll pray for you. And not a problem. If you have a pushka, if you can give a coin, okay. Nobody push you for anything. You don't owe them anything. They just welcome you. That's the way to be. That's the Rabbi Lubavitch way. He did it, but it's a stream of religious that understood that welcoming everybody, Jewish or non-Jewish, they welcome, because they understand that God has a purpose for everyone, and it doesn't matter who. Now, if we had in the history, let's assume it was a scientific experiment, and it was Einstein, and Einstein come to you, or descendant of Einstein says to you, listen, we had the formula to that experiment. Would you give me the chance to do it again? And you would say, sure, I will let you. Of course, let's see, maybe you can do it again. Maybe you can solve it. And we had the formula. God gave us all the book. And the Jewish people, of course, they need to redeem themselves. God Almighty, please help us in this. But the idea is that if you get the culmination of God, Shekhinah, you got the God, presence, and you know that the present, there is a contact form, which is on Temple Mount. There is the stone that they said that it's the umbilical of the world, where there is a connection, holy connection or whatever, because the water. So they say that's where Jacob, Isaac put Jacob on. No, Abraham put put Isaac on top of it. Sorry, Abraham, put Isaac on top. And that's where the center of energy. Now, you cannot take an energy of somebody else that pray for other God that don't exist as far as I'm concerned, because there is only one God, and ask them to make that miracle. And they are holding out the side. Now, they're holding out the side with the pretense. They are the ruler. They are the one. No, but it's not true. Why the world? Why, for God's sake? You guys don't understand. Why don't you give us a chance? And I'm not saying, I want to destroy anybody else. I don't want to destroy. I want you guys all to get God. But I need you to cooperate, because they're holding us hostage on that mountain. They don't let us pray, God forbid, because we'll make the magic. Oh my God. But also, we want to build a temple. So they built a shrine there and they top it with gold. Oh my God, this is, the difference. Oh, it's godly. No, they put it against the rule because in 1947 it was saying you don't change the demographic. And they did it because we had Israeli stupid official running the show. Yeah, you want gold. Of course, they love gold, the golden calf as usual, probably paid for something. But anyway, so who cares? You got that center of energy that needs to be the center of worship in our method because we got the book, we got the rules, we made that magic before, and it's not magic, it's God, Shekhinah, God present, dwelling. You guys are missing on it. And why? You are so enlightened, you're so much smart, you don't understand the difference between having God in your life or not. That's why a person who come and say, why to pray? Said, because God will answer you. So please, please pray. And please give us the opportunity to bring along God's presence in the universe. He deserves a dwelling place. He deserves, and we didn't give it to him. And you guys are stopping us. And it's the world responsibility because you are collaborating with the anti-godly forces. So let's go to the end, and I love you, and we'll talk next week. God bless you all, and please pray, a lot of prayer. We need all. God bless you, Miami. Love you. God bless. Ciao, ciao.
If you love Israel News Talk Radio, then you'll love our Facebook page. We keep you up to date on what's happening in Israel, plus little surprise treasures that we don't share on the radio. Go now to follow us on Facebook. Just look for the Israel News Talk Radio Facebook page, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us by clicking on the like button. We post great stuff there that you'll want to share. Israel News Talk Radio on Facebook and Israel News Radio on Twitter.
If you're hearing this message, everyone else can too. Advertise with Israel News Talk Radio and get your message out to people. We'll build a personalized package for you. Contact advertising at israelnewstalkradio.com.
Straight talk from Israel. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hey, this is Jake in Anchorage, Alaska, and I love listening to all the super interesting interviews and up-to-date information on what's happening in Israel.
Hello, this is Anna King, originally from London, now living in Israel. And what can I say? Israel News Talk Radio is my cup of tea.
My name is Bhaskar. I'm from India, and I love listening because you get to know the truth and wonderful voices from this lovely country.
Mom!
Okay, wait a minute.
Hi, this is Chava Dax, and I'm calling for the rolling hills of Ma'ale Adumim, just north of Jerusalem. I always listen to Israel News Talk Radio to get all the latest news and commentary and to keep me up to date every day.
This is Sarah Dax from Ma'ale Adumim, and I'm 12. I wish Israel News Talk Radio was boring so my mom wouldn't listen to it all the time. Mom!
You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
News, opinion, and more. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.